know what your thoughts are. So the first one that I have here is Paula Dagette. Paula is a very cool Albert's List member. I have not met her yet, but I have seen her very active within our community, and she's somebody who's, in my eyes, comes to the table with her homework done and homework ready. And so it is an honor to receive her resume tonight. And so she's a recent graduate, Bachelor's of Arts in Communications with a minor in Spanish from San Jose State, gotten just last year. So happy 1 year professional anniversary if you're out there in the working world right now. Relevant coursework, relevant experience, activities, and skills. So this is a pretty typical new graduate resume. We're looking at someone here who is going into the real world for the very first time and needs to find a way to be able to position herself as that working professional that a company should trust as they get into the workforce. And so you've heard me on previous resume calls that resumes need to tell a story, and this is honestly no different, right? So as a recent graduate, your education definitely goes up on top. And I'm going to actually go ahead and turn on track changes for review here so you can get an idea of what I'm looking for. She has her name, her contact information up here. It takes 3 lines. Ideally, it should take only 2 lines, but 3 is going to be fine. I would say that in between here, she needs to add something around career aspirations, highlights, / intentions. And the reason I put this here is because every single resume that comes out of a new graduate's resume is going to showcase almost the same thing, right? College graduate. Hi, Diana. College graduate. You want to get your first job, and how do you stand out by doing that? And so all of these things here should be able to say something like graduate in communications studies with a minor in Spanish. And honestly, right, if I'm thinking on the fly here, it can actually be something better, something along the lines of multilingual marketing and communications professional seeking international environments to help launch new products, support existing customers, and drive business development, right? And so why is that important? That's important because it really stipulates the type of goal that Paula wants as she moves forward. Now, I don't know if this is her actual goal, but if it is her goal, that's something that she can write down. And so you should have a couple of bullet points around this, right? So in addition to this, you could say something along the lines of on-campus leader and responsible for several clubs consisting of XYZ number of members. And then you could say grew club membership X% and showcased events bringing in over 200 plus people, right? So that shows that not only does she have a goal in mind of what she wants to do, but it also showcases what it is that she would like to do going forward. Hi, Alex. And so a couple more bullets here. You may insert other type of success story here. Hey, Ali, how's it going? I think I have your resume as well here as a part of what I downloaded tonight. Let me take a quick look. I want to make sure I have that so that I have it in there. And it looks like I don't. So let me look for that again in the midst of this so that you can have your resume figured out here. Okay, so I do see it here, and I'm gonna actually go ahead and download it, and I have it there. So, Ali, your resume is in the queue. I'm starting with the Word resumes first, and I will be going into the PDF resumes right after. All right, so going back to this, having 3 bullet points, one on your goals And then 2 on your successes is an ideal way to start, especially if you're a new graduate, because it allows employers to understand what you're trying to do. With the equal, I would say, weight placed on new graduates who aren't in engineering or accounting and finance, you have to find a way to stand out, and being able to communicate your goals will help you do just that. So she's a new graduate. Next section, ideally, is her education. That's great. I'd say get rid of relevant coursework because that's not as important as not as important now that you've graduated and you've gone out of school. So I would get rid of that. If you find it important to mention a course that you took in your first interview and how it may apply to the work that you want to do, that is a reasonable first step that you can definitely take. All right, so let's go into the relevant experience piece. So it looks like to me a lot of her experience is definitely going to be something that she did when she was at school. And the first thing I want to also call out here is that resumes need to be in chronological order. So ideally, this role would go down below her volunteer role because it's still something she's doing to the present. And then it would also go below this role where she's at Kids Love Soccer, since that ended in March of 2020 and this ended in May of 2019. What also needs to go in between the education and the relevant experience section is a skill section. So obviously I actually see that right down here. So I would actually go ahead and put this down here and really mark it up this way. And so when it comes to the skill section, first and foremost, you need to be able to categorize those. So one could be foreign languages. The next could be productivity tools. And the final one could be HR tools. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of leadership team building since there's not really skills around that. And as Paula builds her career set and her skill set, she should definitely go ahead and add to this, since obviously she's got a lot of work that she's done here on down. So going into the relevant experience piece, I noticed that she uses her verbs really well. Managed, presented, recruited, inputted, directed, coached, right? And so these are good action verbs to begin with. At the end of the day, I also believe that it's important for her to be able to really show me what the impact and the relevance of what she did was. And so generally, I like my relevant experience bullet points to be between 3 to 5 bullets. If you go a little bit over, it's good. But since this role also ended over a year ago now, as of last year, I would actually have fewer bullets for it. Going over again, right? This is not in chronological order. So ideally, this job, if we were to straight up copy and paste it, would go up here at the top. So I'm going to just go ahead and do this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And then I'm going to put her regional manager job that she had right here as well, because that will make it more chronological. So here we are. And so some of you may be looking at this right now and noticing that Paula's resume is actually going on into the second page. And it's actually okay that it's going on the second page. I know that back in, well, at least when I graduated 10 years ago, when you have a resume, it was supposed to be one page because people didn't want multiple pages thinking that you did a lot of work. And so now that resumes are, for the most part, submitted digitally, having a 2-page resume is not going to hurt. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the skills section down here. And so under activities, since she's also graduated now, it would be important for her to likely get rid of the stuff that she's done while she was at school. If she's still involved in it as like an external advisor, as a coach, because she now is in the professional world, this may be one way to just keep it there. but since she has been a volunteer for the NBIA Disorders Association since March of 2010, I'm going to go ahead and keep it on there. And so what kind of story does this resume tell now? It tells you her name, her contact information, and then it goes into sharing her career aspirations and and why and where she plans to be, especially since she's a recent graduate. Then it tells me, okay, what's she capable of doing and what are the elements of this job that show me that she has been able to accomplish this in the past, right? And so she uses her verbs, she has bullet points to back up what she's done, and she's able to explain in this resume where she would want to go next. Now, I wrote multilingual marketing and communications professional. I don't know whether that's actually what she wants to do. It could be something else, but whatever that something else is, it needs to show up in the early pieces of the resume so that someone will know what they're going to be looking for, especially as resumes at a younger age and a younger experience level need to be specifically and explicitly targeted. So that's pretty much it there. And so thank you, Paula, for sending in your resume. Do any of